Hi, welcome back. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you information which has never been seen or heard before regarding the Veach family, and it leans more towards that idea of suspicion within, covering something, okay? I'll be sharing with you screenshots of what Susan has to say about certain people, such as Kenny Veach, the daughter, and even Ray as well, the brother of Kenny. Before I get into that, I just want to briefly say, from my own opinion, I would say there seems to be, a theme of lacking in urgency, whether it be reporting Kenny missing or really following up post-disappearance down the line. There seems to be a lack of that, you know what I'm saying? Just like with the girlfriend, the supposed girlfriend, Sharon, who, as said by Susan, 7-8 days later, then decided to report Kenny missing, which seems a bit weird because, by then, of obviously knowing something isn't right, it'd surely be too late by then to report him missing because he's most likely succumbed to the environment or wherever he is, already in danger, too late. So that was weird in itself. But now we need to get into certain actions, certain events that actually happened after Kenny went missing. Here are the screenshots. So to start things off, looking at Vicky, Susan provided a screenshot picture of a text conversation between her and Vicky previously in the past. And Susan said, "When I asked Vicky to contact Detective Santos regarding the CCTV footage, she asked, 'What will he ask me?' Detective Santos is a woman. The detective before her was also a woman. If Vicky was so concerned about her dad, why didn't she contact Metro or Search and Rescue for updates? In 7 years, she couldn't pick up the phone and call them." In addition, Susan also said that Vicky didn't know until she appeared in the HLN documentary in December of 2020 that Search and Rescue had been going out several times a year for 6 years, still searching for him. Again, she never picked up the phone to call them either. So that is quite interesting. Just goes to show the amount of time prolonged of no updates, no follow-ups, not being proactive. I mean, it is the daughter at the end of the day. You thought maybe they would have been a bit more passionate, a bit more motivated, determined to find answers, to get closure. But then again, to be fair, it depends what else is going on in life, how busy they are or what they're getting up to. I wouldn't know, obviously, so I've got to keep it balanced. But it does seem a little bit odd, doesn't it? And as well, how they're saying in 2020, well, in 2020, you had searches of independent hikers as well, aside from Search and Rescue, and even in 2015, 2016, with the beginning of Sean doing his hikes, followed by 2020 with Jeff Clark and Scott Natal and Silverheels, etc., and Jay Chuck. And, Vicky wasn't aware of them either whatsoever. I mean, the only way of looking at it, the argument you could put across is, like with the CCTV footage at a point in time when Vicky said, "Oh, I don't know if to share it or, say anything because, if it is my dad or, he'll get in trouble." Why would he get in trouble? And it's like maybe this reluctant attitude or the lack of doing certain stuff, but not exclusively just to Vicky, but also other Veach family members or kind of like relatives. Maybe the lack of action is because they know what is up, or they might know something we don't, so they're not going to push, because if they push, then they're going to, reveal maybe Kenny's location. They're going to put themselves in a hole. So maybe it's that. Now, if we move on to the next slide, it's regarding, post-disappearance of Kenny Veach and actions taken. Susan said, "Vicky let her mother, who has not been married to Kenny in over 25 years, come over to Kenny's house and take whatever she wanted, like a free-for-all." And also, they, Ray, Michael, Tammy, Vicky's mum, Tammy's husband, all came to Kenny's house and took whatever they wanted. Just to give you perspective, when Ted Sr. died, that very same day, all the boys went over and started dividing items up. He had only been dead less than 8 hours. So in a way, kind of a juxtaposition between post-disappearance of Kenny Veach and the lack of action taken trying to look for him and look for future updates on the case. in contrast to actions taken immediately post-disappearance of Kenny in relation to retrieving items from Kenny and giving them out to family members. So they're quick to do one thing, but not as quick to do the other. It's kind of like that. Maybe people deal with things differently and they've got their own ways. I mean, I can't talk too much, obviously, but just from a personal opinion, I mean, inviting certain people over to just take whatever they want, it seems a bit reckless, because you would have thought maybe the daughter would have, you know, wanted to go through the house or collect special items first before everyone else came in. You'd think that, because from what Susan said, the items Vicky got from the house was a few blankets of some sort, and that was it. And you thought maybe, surely Vicky would have got maybe something else, like a bit more personal, maybe a photo, a frame, something Kenny made, an item, bit of jewellery, whatever it might be in the house, because there was a lot of stuff within the house, and yet she only got a few blankets. I mean, people might have different preferences, but you thought maybe there might have been a bit more to it, but doesn't seem to be. And then from what we've seen and heard, Michael and Ray, I mean, I don't know if it kind of applies, but it's not the first time, you know, they've been there, because from what Susan said previously, Michael and Ray did turn up in Kenny's vehicle at Kenny's house once in the past, getting a few items. Who knows why, but you remember that video I did. So it just goes to show it's not the first time. They've been there multiple times, and it makes you wonder why. Are they going back and forth to collect stuff for Kenny, certain items Kenny needed at a point in time, just like how Kenny might have needed that iPad, so that's why he broke into the healing store in 2018. So, yeah, kind of interesting, and like how, well, that person, Tammy or something, 25 years of, I guess, being distant, and then just comes over like that. I mean, it's kind of interesting at the end of the day. There might be a bit more information down the line, but I just wanted to share that stuff with you, because depending how you look at it, whether it be, you know, the days after Kenny going missing, how things were a bit slowed down, a bit delayed, or the long term, it just seems to be a little bit flat. You know, maybe that sense that search and rescue, solo hikers, and maybe you do people that might just cover the case in general online or through some form of media or news. They've put more effort in, more time looking for Kenny than the actual family members. I mean, family members, you know, just like if someone does pass away, people still got to get on with stuff or do what they need to do. That's obvious. But when there's a chance that someone could still be alive, and all you know is they've gone missing, that's all you know, there tends to be a bit more of a push, a bit more of a focus in trying to get to the bottom of it and solve it, even if it's in the short term. Because you've seen it on news reports, you've seen it on police reports where people do those appeals and they get behind a screen or something, or they might get posters out, they might reach out to news people, they might do this and might do that. But in this case, it just seems to be a bit flat, and really the only time action was taken was many years on with that documentary. That's only when certain people started reaching out, like Ray, like Vicky, and it makes you think, why did it take that long? Just like, I guess, with the CCTV and certain detectives, why was it not reported sooner? You know, stuff like that. I mean, there might be certain factors I don't know of. I'm just saying what I've seen, okay, and giving a rough opinion at the same time. So you can leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think. I just thought it was worth sharing a bit more additional information, I guess, regarding the family and a bit of shady stuff. Really, the only other thing that Susan mentioned was Vicky said she was ashamed at some point with either Kenny or certain family members at the depths they would go to with financial stuff. I think that's what Susan was kind of getting at when it came to, you know, the monetary, is that the correct word? Monetary reasons for Kenny's disappearance. I know Jeff Clark and some people in the documentary said there was no, like, insurance payout or something, but you just put that aside. There's, like, other reasons, or, you know, if there was past things that have happened, past events, actions, desperate measures, certain family members, Kenny, have took, financial things, not good things, then it can make sense to why Susan probably would be suspicious, cautious, because if she's seen it, if she's talked about it, and she knows family members know as well, it's like, you know, wouldn't be a surprise, would it, if that's the reason why they did it, or another way around it financially, because from what I said, even if it wasn't that insurance payout, if Kenny did reappear at some point or time somehow to create some kind of survival story of how he managed after all that time, they could write a book, they could make a film, he could be interviewed and all that, and who knows what it could lead to there. Or maybe it's too risky, but you know, there are still other ways, other monetary ways Kenny could benefit, I guess. Just depends what actions are taken and at what point in time. So yeah, that's it. End of the video. Hope you enjoyed it. And yeah, I'll see you next one. Goodbye.